Easy to write a theme folks will want to sing out loud. Cause when you got cancer, wearing a wig and all, you don't always feel so proud. But here's the good part that no one knows. You gotta pass, let me show you how it goes. You gotta learn how to play the cancer card. Now for example, listen here. Hey Charlie, can I get a lift to the airport? I would love to, my friend, but I have cancer. Hey Charlie, you wanna go see Cat Stevens at the Greek tonight? Love to, but I got cancer. You got cancer? Don't be so sad. You got a little cancer, don't get so mad. You gotta learn how to play that cancer card. What do you expect? I got cancer. Hi everybody, welcome to the Cancer Card, brought to you by Brigade Radio 1. My name is Charles Thomas Schlatter, that's my real name, Charlie Schlatter, and I'm here with...
G. Christopher Gorelick.
Wow.
I'm adding my first initial in there.
What's your middle name?
My middle name's Christopher.
But what's G. Christopher?
Yeah,
Christopher.
my first
What's
name.
the G?
My first name's Guy.
Guy?
My parents thought they'd start me off pompous by
Wow,
giving me a first
dude.
initial and middle name instead.
I had no idea you were so butch.
Yeah, I really am.
Guy. He's just a guy.
Big guy.
Now
to you.
he's a guy with cancer.
That's true.
Chris has cancer. I have cancer. This is the Cancer Card. We talk about how to play it, how to make it work to your advantage. And
I actually came in today because I know you worked hard on our theme song this week. So I'm really, really looking forward to hearing what you put together this time.
At this point, just so our listeners know, at this point we don't have enough money to hire any musicians or songwriters, so I've been kind enough.
You're a talented guy.
I've been kind enough to
You told me you were. You said, I'm going to do a great theme song. We're now into our third week on this thing.
I was feeling oh so bad.
This is the melody.
Song. So I asked my
feel like I've
family
heard
doctor
this somewhere.
about what I had.
And what did
He
you
said
have?
you have cancer.
Cancer?
He said you have cancer.
No.
Yeah, that one's still, again, this is a song that's still under construction, but I think
Holy smokes.
What?
You had promised me that you were coming with something big this week.
I got
And it was sounding okay.
cancer.
And then... All right, let's move on to the show. This is... Next week, Charlie.
I'd like to see you play something, Chris.
I never said I could.
Do you play an instrument?
You promised me I'm a very talented guy. I can play him in a band.
Right now, there are people in chemo treatments who are going to be sitting back going, I got cancer. They're going to be rocking to that little beat that I just wrote.
That's true. Well, maybe they only need 6 seconds of a song to go to town.
That's all it takes. What's our topic today, Chris? What do we want to talk about?
Actually, well, we're going to find out.
And tell me who's here.
We're going to have a guest, Kersten Haile, who is a fundraiser executive extraordinaire with the LLS,
She's
Leukemia Lymphoma
she's like
Society.
18 years old, and she has like this senior title over at the LLS, the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, which we know a little something about. She's like single-handedly responsible for bringing in all these insane people who raise an insane amount of people, and she manages the whole thing. She was my manager last year. You know her because you were on my team.
Yep.
Last year, I was fortunate enough, so our listeners know, I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm not. I was suckered into this thing as the Man of the Year candidate. You win nothing. You get a sash. You get
Man of the Year. And you do get to raise an awful lot of money.
I got to raise
which you did. You did raise
like $340,000, something like that.
Triple what the second place person raised.
Something like that. And you
did a great job on that.
But the woman
you deserve a lot of credit.
The woman
for that.
people are going to meet, she also gave me a tiara. I said, that's all I want, and she did. And it wasn't even just like a little cheap tiara. She got me like this
from Cartier?
I don't know where it's from.
That
sounds like a fancy store though somewhere. I was going to say Target, but no, but no, it's heavy. It's got weight to it.
Maybe she went to the Tower of London.
Yeah,
and got some of the jewelry.
But she's great.
There.
She goes through L.A. and she finds people who are silly enough to raise all this money.
She is amazing, and she does raise life. In fact, you referred to her as the Beast. She
is the Beast.
And what's nice is that we actually have a person on this show that can be both beauty and beast.
There we go.
In one character.
This podcast, Chris, people may be listening to this thinking this is a no-frills podcast, but no, we're providing so many things for people.
Yes, we are.
Beauty and Beast. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with our awesome guest, and we're going to talk about some fun things. This is Brigade Radio 1. You're listening to The Cancer Card with Chris Gorelick and Charlie Schlatter.
Hey everyone, it's Ethan with Brigade Radio 1, letting you know about the new Brigade Radio 1 YouTube channel with special content, special features, special craziness, special for you. Everything you need to know, from the live remotes, from the craziness backstage at the Canyon Club, back around to all the stuff that's being shot here at Universal, to craziness in general. Go to the YouTube channel at Brigade Radio 1 and subscribe today. You may even actually win some concert tickets.
Hi, this is Martha Davis from the Motels, and you're listening to Brigade Radio 1.
Hey everyone, this is Ethan with Combat Radio and Brigade Radio 1. You know what's coming your way? A fully loaded audiobook of high-octane Imagineering, starring your favorite and ours, Disney and Universal legend Bob Gurr. That's right, the designer of the Matterhorn, monorail, Elements of the Haunted Mansion, and so much more, including King Kong over at Universal Studios, has got a new audiobook, a follow-up to our successful Fail Fast, Combat Radio Conversations with Disney legend Bob Gurr. This one gets into his work with the 1984 Olympics, the Michael Jackson Victory Tour, working with Sid Sheinberg and all the legends here at Universal to rebuild and revamp their theme park and make it a competitor. All the wonderful engineering stories and insight from Disney and more, and everything you always wanted to know from the man himself, Disney legend Bob Gurr. Produced by your friends Jeff Dix, Mark Marshall, Brian Perales, and myself. Imagine This with legend Bob Gurr. Available on iTunes and all major platforms. Get it today.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. This is Brigade Radio 1. This is the Cancer Card podcast.
Christopher Gorelick here.
And Charlie Schlatter over here. And we have both the Beauty and the Beast of what's called the LLS Man Woman of the Year campaign with us. Her name is Kersten Haile. She is the senior manager of the campaign that they do over there. LLS is the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. I was fortunate enough, like I said, to run and win last year, which was fine. And I got to pass the tiara down to the next winner this year. Anyway, and Chris, and you know Kersten.
I do. I work with her as well.
She's here with us right now. Hi, Kersten.
Hello.
Kersten.
Hi. Beauty and the Beast. That's the first time somebody's referred to me as that, and so now I'm going to just start asking people to call me the Beauty and the Beast when I enter any room, not even just at work.
It's a great moniker.
We will determine when you are being Beauty and when you are being
That's
Beast.
Right. Exactly.
During our break, you were being a little bit of a beast to me.
But now with the smile and the giggle, the smile and the giggle, she's right back to Beauty.
Now we've got the Beauty. Chris, you were asking her a question about something, and I said save it till we're back, and because you're so ADD, you probably forgot that whole question.
Yeah, but in fairness, I had brain cancer.
That's true. You did have brain cancer.
I get passes when I forget things.
This is Chris playing the cancer card right now on the cancer card.
Very well versed.
Yeah.
Really good at it.
Let me tell you something. I've had practice.
You're a professional.
So
I use
Kersten,
it a lot.
all right, so here's a dumb question. How did you, so honestly, I love you, and I think that you, and my family loves you.
I love you.
We do. And so you came here, you're from Nebraska.
Yes.
Omaha?
Omaha, yeah.
You're from Omaha. You came out here to LA, and you're an actress, and so you were acting, and then at some point you just said, kind of F this whole thing, acting, and you got involved in this philanthropic venture of just being awesome.
Yeah.
And what turned it for you? What did you wake up one day and say, I just got to pay back, I got to do something?
I had been waking up for a lot of days, feeling like I was missing, oh God, this sounds so cheesy, but like missing my purpose, right?
You haven't heard Chris these past two podcasts. You want to hear cheese? It's right here, Mr. Velveeta.
Extra cheese.
Yeah,
I brought my cheese plate.
There you go.
No, so
Nothing but fondue.
Boy, tough room.
Yeah.
Back to
There we go.
Beast.
She's the Beast right now. To me,
Back
she's
to
a beauty. Go ahead. Back to Beauty.
I was missing my purpose. I was not happy, and I knew that I wanted to do something else, and I didn't know what that looked like. And so, quite honestly, I just started putting together kind of my hodgepodge resumes of like, these are my skills. This is what I'm good at. I love people. I love storytelling. What can I do? And then LLS kind of fell in my lap.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you know anybody who was working there? Did you know Shannon or any of those,
or
Laura?
That was working there.
Really?
No, I actually, through a Facebook post, saw that they were looking for some temporary work.
Wow.
And I was looking for a part-time job.
That's how Chris and I found this podcast. Someone was looking to do a cancer podcast, and you just applied.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was like, I'll throw my name into the hat, and to make a very long story short, I just quickly fell in love with the organization and saw that, one, the incredible people that they were bringing together to make a really big difference in the world, and then just that tangible impact of the hard work that all of the volunteers and staff were doing and how it was changing the cancer space. And I was like, I want to be a part of that. And all of the things that I love about being an actor, the thing that I love about storytelling, I can use that, but I can use it for good. And I can help drive change in a way that, quite honestly, I never dreamed that I'd be able to do.
I didn't, it's so funny because I was so hell-bent on winning. I'm like this 4'11" kid from Jersey who has to win. I have to win. And it didn't dawn on me until like after that I made this network of new friends, and even Haile being here, these other people who had the same goal in mind to raise money and for the research, for whatever it is LLS offers people. And I wanted to talk about that also. But it's just, not just paying it forward, but creating this network. And I think that's what Chris and I are trying to do with this show also, is to make this community a community where we could talk to each other and share these stories, because forever, as there's been such a dark veil over cancer. And
you've been with the LLS for how long now?
So I'm in my third year now.
Your third year?
Yeah.
And even in those 3 years, do you see advancements
being
made? It's incredible, right?
Absolutely. So to put things into perspective, 3 years ago, if there was a new therapy approved for blood cancers, it was a good year. Like if there was a single new therapy approved. And since 2017, so in the past 2 years, there's been 47 new therapies approved. And all of that is a direct result of people like Charlie, people like you, Chris, who come together and decide, I'm going to raise money to help fund research so I can help drive us closer to a cure. And
I have to toot Chris's horn quickly, because, I talk about me winning. And I couldn't have done it with people like Chris, and especially Chris, who raised a boatload of money as well. I don't know how he did it. He has no friends.
I used the cancer card
He
primarily.
played the cancer card, yeah. So you might have seen him on the freeway exits, shaking the can. But he came in with a ton of cash and really helped and stepped up.
That's nice of you to say. It really was an interesting campaign. It was a lot of fun to do. I didn't really think I would have fun fundraising. But you did make it fun, I will say.
Are fun.
I will give you credit.
Don't
there.
say she made it fun. Honestly, she was a pain in the ass.
I was.
To you, but to your team.
But to teams, didn't she send you all those emails all the time?
There's something about the way that she does
we
it.
got another challenge,
annoying.
people. Another $100, another $50. It's crazy. Leave us alone.
It's true, but the way she does it in more of an endearing way. It's hard to explain, but I've been on campaigns before, and they're just a drag.
Yeah.
And maybe I was more invested in this one because I was sick too. But really, Kersten has a particularly good charm about her.
Oh, yeah.
That makes it fun to do.
She could burn your house down and just say, I'm sorry. And you'd be like, it's okay, Kersten. You're so adorable.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're upset about it.
Yeah, don't be upset. It's my fault. It's fine. I gave you those matches.
But I do find it extremely enlightening and thrilling, quite frankly, that over year to year, that you can, someone like you in your position really sees differences, because you see what LLS is doing, the fundraising it's doing, and the money, and then they tell you we invented our research invented this and that, right?
Yeah.
And that's got to be a pretty exciting thing when you're sitting at your desk. And it comes across that your research that you raised the money for just figured this problem out.
Yeah, and I think I have two thoughts on that. Number one, when I'm sitting at my desk, or standing, because I have a standing desk now.
That's why she has great calves.
I'm much more comfortable at work now.
Boy,
But when I'm sitting there and we do see new approvals coming through, or we see that a new approval for blood cancer therapy is now being tested for brain cancer, breast cancer, prostate cancer, the list is endless. honestly, what my thought is, oh my gosh, this is incredible, because what this shows me is when a group of people, so a collective group of people, whether that be through Man and Woman of the Year or Light the Night,
Or Student of the Year,
says yes, I want to help in my small way. When you get a bunch of people to say yes, you see massive change. And so it's so inspiring to realize that it really doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. If you decide to say yes to something that's going to help make a positive impact in the world, you'll make a positive impact.
And you know what's so great about that change? It's not political change. There's nothing angry about it. You know, I know we all feel certain ways about the political climate today and other things that affect our environment, whatever. This is one thing. It's like all for the common good of something, regardless of your religion or, you know, whatever, your race. Cancer has respect for no one. And it's the one thing we can all rally against. You know, this is our 9/11. It's like, it's the one thing that unifies us, that we're all like, we're going to get back at you. And we're trying to fight the good fight. And I just wanted to go, if she said, I wanted to go back to about timing, about, you know, good timing, and this is a time when all these new advancements are being made. Thankfully, when I was diagnosed, which was 12 years ago, it was perfect timing, because just a couple years prior, I was saying during a break that, you know, my wife, when I told Colleen I've got this CML thing, she looks in a medical book, and sure enough, she's like, Charlie, you have 2 years to live. It's like, oh, no, that's an old book, because now, cut to a couple of years later, there's hope. I'm treatable and whatever. And, you know, the improvements are just unbelievable what's going on.
And for me, that's absolutely the case as well. I mean, there are certain drugs that were invented while I was sick that were the difference between me living and not living. And so when someone's sick right now, I mean, at one point, the doctors gave me 6 to 9 months. That's pretty much it. And in that time, I did find a doctor who said, yeah, that may be true. And if you do what I say, maybe you've got less if I'm wrong. But if I'm right, I really think you got a shot. So to me, that was a fantastic thing to hear. And so and he was right. I'm doing a podcast now. And so
a very famous podcast.
Very famous.
No frills, but you don't even know how famous this is.
Massive potential for growth.
This could possibly be the #1 podcast by the time someone hears this. We might even have to have a Facebook account just for this podcast, or a MySpace. We should do that.
You know, but I do want to.
The kids kids aren't doing MySpace anymore. No?
They might be. I'm not that cool, so I actually don't know.
Well,
I have a Friendster account.
I did. Well, there you go. And I thought we were doing a chat room. I thought that's what this was going to be. An AOL chat room about cancer, but it's not.
I don't know. I do
that'd be
snap
cute. You've
things.
got mail, except instead you've got
cancer.
You've got cancer. That's how that would be great. That's how you find out.
Kersten Haile, ladies and gentlemen. She'll be here all the Beast. She's here. Dropping
Beast is
bombs. Wow.
You know, but I will say that through works like through the money that you raise and through the research of the LLS and other organizations, you know, if you're sick right now and they don't really know what to do, we live at a time when while you're sick, they really might figure out something that will make it okay. It's not out of the question, but 15 years ago, that was out of the question. Are you finding that more and more?
You know, I think what we're seeing more and more is that the treatment options there's more and more treatment options. And so when you get sick, it's not like we're just going to throw something like a blanket. This is the worst description of this ever, like a blanket chemo bomb at someone, right? Like instead we're going to look at, you know, what is the cancer, what is the mutation of the cancer, and how can we be more specific and more targeted so that way when you're going through your treatment process, you're having less toxic side effects and you're having better patient outcomes. And then furthermore with that, let's say you achieve remission, and you know, oftentimes the unfortunate thing is once someone achieves remission, sometimes they'll relapse. But because in the time between remission and relapse, so much research has been done, you have another option. It's not the end of the road. And so there's so much hope in the cancer space right now and in the cancer fight, which is why I'm so passionate about getting together crazy people in Los Angeles to do the Man and Woman of the Year campaign, because it makes a difference, and we want people to have options and we want people to have hope, and so this is the one small thing that we can do that.
And aside from all these people that you've met through LLS and your dealings with cancer, was there anything in your life prior to that that you said, cancer is something that I really want to just kick the shit out of, and for a personal reason, or?
Yeah, actually, I lost my grandmother to leukemia when I was 9.
Really?
Yeah, and it was.
And do you know what kind of leukemia she had?
You know what's strange about that?
They didn't talk
is
about it.
They didn't.
No,
and
they
once
still don't.
And they don't.
Can I? And
Well, we were talking about that the other day, the two of us.
Yeah.
That you can ask somebody, and it's there. My brother's got cancer. Like, what kind? You're like, I don't know.
the cancer.
Why is that? Why
That's-
is it that nobody
that's-
ever knows who their close family or friends?
It's like me asking Chris, "What are you wearing to the party tonight?" Clothes. Okay, what kind of clothes? Shirt.
Yeah.
Okay, but what kind of parties? What kind of clothes do I need to wear to fit in to be?
Yeah.
It's like when even and now you need to even get a little bit more specific, because just not that long ago we lost Adam West to leukemia, and just leukemia. Okay. Well, I have a CML, there's ALL, there's LLLLLL, there's whatever. There's
Lots
a bunch
of
of
Ls.
letters out there. Which one did he have? And they never mention like which one he had, because I want to know.
Well, his family didn't know.
They probably didn't ask. People aren't
They probably
asking
didn't
questions.
ask.
And that might have been what happened with my dad's side of the family too. They may have never asked, or my
Right.
grandparents may never have shared that with them
Right.
because they were pretty private about it. But I'm so curious because that was what almost 20 years ago, and so with the knowledge that I have now, I have to assume that if my grandmother had been diagnosed, even 10 years later, 12 years later,
She'd
there
be
might
here.
have been an option. I mean, for all I know, it was CML,
Yeah.
and she could be alive and well today, taking a pill every day,
Yeah.
and keeping her CML at bay. So that was part of it. So she passed away when I was 9, and there had always been a part of me that wanted to do something to serve my family's name, to just memorialize
Yeah.
her. And so when LLS came into my life, I was like, oh, well, this is my opportunity.
Well, you've done that in spades.
For sure.
For sure. And I think we all just want to encourage people to talk about their cancer, not to brag about it or whatever, because honestly, I'm so bored by it already. I'm bored with your cancer. But I do think people have to talk about it, because it just opens up that conversation as to what kind you have. Where do we need to make more discoveries? What do we need to do to tackle this?
And if you talk about it, then you can find the resources that are out there to support you if you're going through it, because that's something that we were talking about over the break is, outside of the research, and the research is something that we talk about a lot because
Yes.
that's the biggest piece of the pie that we're funding, but equally as important is we're a patients first organization. So we have things like emotional support groups, first connection programs for peer-to-peer support, financial support, copay assistance, travel assistance.
I was going to say, let's
talk about it.
Let's put this podcast to use. And so who do they, because I was diagnosed obviously with CML, and there was no one there. I don't even think my oncologist knew to say, hey, there's a support group, or fortunately I have insurance. I have great insurance that takes care of a lot of stuff. But there are people out there who don't have it, who don't have the monetary needs or the funds to take care of themselves. But you guys offer so many things.
Yeah.
And so do you know, like, offhand who they
yeah,
call?
if you go to lls.org
Okay.
And go to the Information Resource Center, we call it the IRC, and it's a 1-800 number, and I think sometimes that can be off-putting. So I don't want to call a 1-800 number.
And go through the system. Press 1 if you have leukemia.
They're certified.
Press 2
it's
if you have lymphoma.
Yeah.
Press 3 if you don't know. If you just have cancer.
If you just want to talk to somebody and need some help.
Press
If you care to listen
press
to an
3 if you only have
A
cancer.
podcast about cancer, press 5.
That's right.
But the 800 number gets you connected with certified specialists. So these are professionals, these are nurses, these are psychologists, these are people that are very well versed in the cancer space, and they can help you get connected to the right programs for you. And then even beyond that, we also have a clinical trial information segment where you can go to the clinical trial resources to find out if there's a clinical trial for you. So let's say you're going through treatment and they think you're at the end of the road and there are no other options. Call the IRC, see what's
They'll
going
tell you
on
about
in
the
clinical
trials.
trials, see where you can get fit into, because it's a nightmare to navigate clinical trials.
One of the nicest things about being a part of the Man of the Year campaign was that I think it was at the launch party where a woman came up to me, she's an older woman, older than me, and she said, "You're the CML guy, right?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm the CML guy." She goes, I was looking for you. I wanted to meet you. I wanted to tell you that I was in the trials for CML and for Gleevec, and I take 200 milligrams a day, and I'm still here. And so she was very proud of being part of that, and so I had to thank her for being a part of that.
Do you have any funny stories about what people might do to get away with stuff? Do people come to you
Why
and
do you
say,
ask some of that? Do you have a funny story?
Because
That's like saying, make me laugh.
I don't mean it that way.
Chris Gorelick
I don't mean it
says,
that way.
"Make me laugh."
I mean it more like
I have funny stories. I don't know if it's
I'm
related
always
to
curious.
cancer, but-
I'm always curious because you run into a lot more people that have cancer than anybody that I know. You know anybody that runs into more people with cancer?
My oncologist.
Yeah, but
Dr. Park, she does.
she's
But
not
other than
fun.
her, I'm going to say Kersten probably, or at least she's around more stories about it.
Right.
Yeah.
People talk to her more
What
like
do you
not
mean?
about
What
medical
kind
stuff.
of funny story do you expect from her?
I want to know if people relay things to her that have happened
That are
she
funny?
went, that was actually pretty crazy. Because I've had some pretty crazy stories, and
Yeah.
you've had some pretty crazy
Had some
stories,
crazy stuff.
and I'm interested to know in what's going on out there with people having crazy things happen to them.
If you don't want to answer,
You don't have to answer that.
Well,
And you have to use
what I
you have
was
to use
gonna
their
say-
name. You got to use their name.
I hate to be the downer on the funny podcast.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, when people come to me, it's a pretty emotional point.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't necessarily have a lot of I would say knee slapping stories.
Right. Well, and even one of your candidates this
You're
year.
right. I phrased that wrong. I didn't
No,
mean
no,
it
no.
that
I
way.
know.
No, but one of your candidates this year, and not that it was a terribly sad thing, but she lost her husband, and she decided, I'm going to run for Woman of the Year, with fresh wounds. I mean,
Yeah,
she
she
just.
lost her husband in October.
And Racheli's like that too. I mean, just the fact that she's like, okay, I've got cancer, and I'm going to go do a YouTube channel and document me maybe dying, and in an inspirational way is unbelievable.
Yeah.
How you could do something like that. And the same with this woman. What was her name?
Phyllis.
Who ran, in memory of her husband and did a great job.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's tough. Who's the worst, besides Chris, who's like the worst team member or candidate that you had to deal with?
Oh my God,
Without
no,
giving a
I'm not
name.
gonna say
You don't have to give his name or her name.
Use
but-
their initials.
But did you have someone
So
that
they'll
just
know.
that just sucked? That was just like you were a thorn in her side or his side, or they were so put off by you.
That's such a hard. Well, now I'm just going to sound very pompous. Like nobody's put off by me.
Yeah, but
Everybody loves me.
by one of your partners. But was there somebody? Because I know that even someone told Lauren afterwards. They're like, "Hey, don't ever email me again or get me off of your list." Remember? And I don't know who that person was, but there are some
yeah.
people that get put off by the whole thing.
Yeah. I think I'm really fortunate in that to this point, like I haven't had any experiences like that. I think, one of the wonderful, also challenging things about the campaign is, you get really close with people. And so
Yes.
sometimes it feels like family. So of course you're going to have those moments where you're like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't talk for like 48 hours
Right.
or maybe a week. But for the most part, I sound like such a Pollyanna, but no, like there isn't anybody from any of the campaigns that I would say there's any
Right.
adversity or any terrible, like you're not for me. Like I feel like
And
we're
that-
all in this together. Shout out for High School Musical.
Right. Your head's in the game.
Dance break.
Yeah, and that makes sense because you're surrounded by 20 candidates who are all doing something for the right reason. Yeah. So yeah,
I think Kirsten should be able to get away with stuff too because of the work that she does with cancer.
totally. She
Don't you
should
think?
play the
She should be
cancer
able to-
card.
If you're in the
Yeah.
line at the supermarket, I work with cancer.
Yeah.
And you should be able to go to the
Chris
front of the
does it.
line.
Could you believe that? He'll like cut the line. He'll
I
be like,
do.
"Hey, I've got the cancer.
I do
I got to
do
get
that.
my white bread home to my.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean,
you're going to hell, dude. I'm telling you, that's playing it
I
hard.
can't. I had cancer.
I think people with cancer can go to hell. I think
don't
technically
so.
you can.
I think that's part of the card. When you
Really?
die,
You
can
just
You
say
can
we
redeem
do.
your
You
cancer
say,
card.
I'm sorry, Lucifer.
Yeah.
I had cancer. And he goes,
Can't
oh,
do it. Yeah.
I see.
All right,
This has been a
purgatory.
terrible mistake.
They just beam you back
And
up.
he sends you right back up. Yeah.
But this is going to get philosophical now.
Yeah, there's no room for that here.
If you've died technically you don't have cancer anymore.
That's not true.
No?
No, no.
You've died and had cancer and then came back.
In hell, it gets
to talk
worse.
about it.
You get different
It's a
types
club
of cancer.
sorts. It's a club of sorts.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, the suffering, the fear of it washes away your sins.
Oh.
Yes.
All right.
That's why I'm saying people don't realize the benefits, the long-term benefits that they have from getting cancer.
I wonder if there should be like a pamphlet, like the cancer card pamphlet
there
in
should
the
be.
hospitals, right next to the LLS pamphlet.
It opens up with congratulations.
These are all your new benefits.
These are your new benefits.
But listen,
Absolutely.
I think LLS should have something on their website that says, hey, you know what? Feeling low? Listen to the cancer card today. Listen to something, because honestly, growing up with cancer, Chris and I, for the past however many years, there was nothing. There was never any like fun kind of place to go to learn about cancer. Not that we're teaching anything on this podcast.
I don't know what people are coming away from with this.
No, nothing.
That sometimes laughter is the best medicine. There it is, Pollyanna again.
No, but you're right. It is. It's totally right.
It totally is, and I know that you've talked to Haile, but I think that's one of my favorite things about her story is actually meeting people who went through their cancer journey and honestly had a better time at it because they were able to follow what her journey was.
Yeah.
And so I think something like this is, that's the same idea, right? Is like people, when you're going through a journey, you want to have some light, you want to have some positivity, you want to have some laughter. Maybe you want a whiskey.
Let me ask you this. Do you, because you deal with a lot of people who are in the throes of cancer, and how are you at treating them? Do you treat them differently? Do you approach them differently? Or do you get in beast mode now and then, or are you just all beauty when you're talking to people?
With cancer?
Yeah, because Chris and I always say, because especially early on when we're first diagnosed and people learn, oh my God, you have cancer, people do treat you completely differently.
I think any time that I am meeting someone, particularly someone that has been newly diagnosed or somebody who has just lost someone, I think that as much as you would like to not act differently, you're at a loss for words. You don't know what to say or what to do. Now, I will say, I feel like I'm in a very fortunate position of working at LLS, so that way when somebody is going through that, at least I have something
You've got
to
the tools,
offer, right? Like I can do something and feel like I have a good path to point them down. But I think if I'm being totally honest, sometimes I get a little awkward.
And that's a good point, because one
rough.
of the things that I found is that people who are meeting with you, that are your friends, that are family, that sort of thing, they're almost looking to the patient to give them permission to laugh. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that comes across with you as well. Some people that you work with come across right away as, it's okay to kid around with me.
Yeah.
And the other people are more morose and more serious about it, and they're just not giving you permission to do that.
You got to read the room. I mean, that's basically what it is. There are some
But I
people
think
who want that love, who want to laugh, and there are those who just need,
But I think it's important for a patient to know that the world is looking for you. You can't live in darkness with this.
Right.
And the world is looking to you for permission to kid around with you again.
Right.
To joke with you, to make you laugh.
Right.
But if you don't give them any opening to do that, they're not going to do that, and your life is going to be filled in that kind of quagmire.
Yeah.
Instead of filling it with more light and cheerfulness.
And it is tough. It's so easy to sit back and tell people have a positive attitude. But when you've got tubes in your neck and you've got no hair and you're just a freaking, 80-pound mess of bone and ash and flesh, it's really tough not to tell someone to stick that up their ass about you and your sunshine. Hey, beauty, get out of here. I just, I'm a beast right now.
But not if you give them permission to do it.
But you do, yeah. And that's really tough. And that's what I would encourage anyone listening to this.
Right, that's my point.
To say, hey, just try and be open about it. Be positive. As hard as that sounds, there are great books out there to read. Did you read any great books when you were diagnosed? Is there anything?
No, I watched Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah, Ellen DeGeneres got you through it all?
That's what's pretty. 3 o'clock, even if I couldn't keep my eyes open, as long as I could hear her, I found it cheerful enough that actually gave me an hour that I needed.
There was one book that I read. And I don't read. I haven't read since high school. I don't read. Teach me to read. I'm that guy. But it was called A Bend in the Road. And A bend in the road or a fork in the road? What's in the road? A bend. It was called a bend in the road.
There can be both. So.
Yeah, there can be both, but this one was a bend.
Okay.
And it was just this really good thing that helped me kind of get through it. And I always say, just based from that book, to never ask why me, but to ask why not me. I'm no different than anyone else. This is just a bend. This is going somewhere else. And in my own kind of spiritual way, I look at us all as these vines that are growing in the garden, and every now and then some master gardener, whoever you want that gardener to be, has to come in and snip you just a little bit so that you can grow back stronger and with purpose and in the right direction. There you go. Look at how deep the little guy is.
I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
I'm leaving a new man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brigade Radio 1. This is Charlie Schlatter with Chris Gorelick and our guest, Kersten Haile. We'll be right back to say goodbye.
Ooh, let me catch my breath.
Hey, this is Gavin Pring from the Fab Four.
And this is Adam.
You're listening to Brigade Radio 1.
Hello, everyone. This is Ethan with Combat Radio. I'm sorry, I didn't see you standing there. Why? Because I'm reading the brand new Combat Radio Brigade Radio 1 book, Live at the Canyon, Year 1. An epic tale of backstage interviews featuring The Temptations, Berlin, Jeff Tate, formerly of Queensryche, all the greats, 1 year's worth of survival stories. The greatest concert book known to man. So good, it compares, I'm told, with the Bible. Get your copy today. Go to Amazon, punch in Combat Radio Book, and bang, you can be included in our very cool club of book owners.
Hey, this is Michael Lang. I've got a little self-promotion happening here. Get my new book, Musings of a Jewish Guy, available at Kindle, $2.99. And if you buy one, I'll sign it. How's that going to work out?
And we're back. Thanks to Brigade Radio 1. I'm Chris Gorelick with the Cancer Card and with my celebrity co-host,
Charlie Schlatter.
Thank God he's here.
Yeah, and we want to say thank you to our guest today, Kersten Haile.
Thank you.
There she is. And honestly, she was awesome. I just want to plug LLS. It's called LLS.org, which is the Leukemia Lymphoma Society.org. You'll have just a plethora of information on there if you're going through any sort of treatments or cancer difficulties. It's just a great, great website to go to. Also, what I love to do is on Instagram, they have the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. They have their own little Instagram account. Right now, I'm looking at it right now. It gives you a little advice for your vacations, like take your medications, invest in a pill organizer, manage your time, expect the unexpected, and outfit yourself. Oh, and also up your fitness game. So, Chris, you have to make a little time for activity.
I don't like the sound of that.
And take time for memories.
They'll
That's
take your
another
phone
thing they tell
calls
you.
too, you know.
But I do. I love their little site. I mean, I love their little Instagram.
It actually is a good
thing.
website. But if you want to call them, I think, Kersten, you have a number for everyone to call.
Yeah,
also.
absolutely. So if you want to reach out to our Information Resource Center, it's 800-955-4572. And that'll get you connected with the right people to just help you in any direction that you need help. And that if you're also looking for the Clinical Trial Support Center, they can get you connected there as well. So,
and they actually do answer the phone. You're not saying it's not push 1, push 2.
No, it's real people.
Right, there's real people answering the phone.
Yeah.
So I hope people will call and use that because it is a great resource. Back with the guitar. You just will not. You're relentless.
Before this podcast, I was feeling so bad. But then Kersten Haile came on in.
Added beauty and
the beast. I don't know. What can I work on it?
She wasn't all that bad.
there you go.
Will you please write us
See
a
that?
song?
Yeah, maybe you could spend a little bit more time than Charlie spent.
Chris
on
will
this
get
and
off
a
my
theme
ass
song.
already.
I would like a theme song, and Charlie keeps promising me one.
right.
No advancement.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Think
this
about it.
this was the Cancer Card brought to you by Brigade Radio 1. Kersten Haile, thank you so much.
Thank you, Kersten.
Thank
We
you,
love
guys.
you, love you,
Beauty
love
and the
you.
Beast rolled up in
you guys.
one.
And we'll hopefully talk to you guys again soon. Good Lord willing. Goodbye. It ain't easy to write a theme folks will want to sing out loud. 'Cause when you got cancer, wearing a wig and all, you don't always feel so proud. But here's the good part that no one knows. You gotta pass, let me show you how it goes. You gotta learn how to play the cancer card. Now, for example, listen here. Hey, Charlie, can I get a lift to the airport? I would love to, my friend, but I have cancer. Hey, Charlie, you wanna go see Cat Stevens at the Greek tonight? Love to, but I got cancer. You got cancer? Don't be so sad. You got a little cancer, don't get so mad. You gotta learn how to play that cancer card. What do you expect? I got cancer.